Yeah, well, I'm back. Look, I've just bought myself a guitar. It cost me $70 at Aldi, so I'm guessing, but this is probably the Stradivarius of guitars. And at age 74, I'm going to learn to play the guitar, left-handed. So eat your heart out, Paul McCartney. Jimi Hendrix can't eat his heart out because he's dead, but they're the two most famous left-handed guitar players that I'm aware of. You might, okay, I understand. I know I've shocked you. You thought I was a teenager. No, I'm 74 years old, and I'm going to learn to play the guitar. I'll give you a sort of a progress report as we go along. But for now, where were we? Oh yes, that's right. We were talking about Abraham. Now, at age 90, Sarah, let me God decided to unfasten Sarah's womb. That's the way it's described in the Bible. God unfastens Sarah's womb. Abraham himself is heading towards 100 years old. Sarah is 90 and she becomes pregnant, would you believe? And she gives birth to her son, and he is named Isaac. And now we come to the part of the story that you've probably heard of. But before I tell you that, Sarah then becomes jealous of Ishmael, the son, illegitimate son really, the son that came about as a result of Abraham raping Hagar, his slave girl. And Sarah instructs Abraham to send Hagar and Ishmael into the desert to die. But he doesn't die, neither of them die, as a matter of fact. And Ishmael goes on to become the father of the Arabic tribes that we've had a few problems with one way or another. But there's some confusion, and I don't know the answer to this. The Arabs seem to think that Ishmael was the first son or the second son, and Isaac was the second son. There's lots of arguments going on about which son was which, but I'm talking about the Bible. I'm sure you've heard of it. Now we come to the bit you know about, where God instructs Abraham. By the way, by now God has told Abraham that his new name is Abraham, and Sarah is now called Sarah. Don't ask me why. God instructs Abraham to drag Isaac up a mountain and to sacrifice his beloved son in order to prove his faith in God. You all know that story. That's the one bit about Abraham everybody remembers. But I ask you this: what kind of a monstrous, disgusting, vile, hideous and ghastly deity instructs a loving father to murder his own son just to prove his faith in God? I bet you haven't thought about that. Like Christians and Jews, they just read the Bible. Well, some of them do. Most Jews do, but few Christians do. But they don't stop to consider what's behind it all and what it really means. What kind of a disgusting, ghastly, revolting, sadistic deity instructs a father to slaughter his son just to prove his faith in this unbelievably vile deity? But anyway, look, fortune shone on Abraham and Isaac, because God said, okay, Abraham, you proved just how faithful and loyal you are. Instead of slitting your son's throat, I'll settle for a ram, or it might have been a lamb, I can't remember. So Abraham gets his knife and cuts the throat of a ram. And this is the other question I ask. We're talking here about the force, the power that created the universe, and yet Bible believers are so dumb and so dim-witted. They believe that this major force. I mean, it's indescribable what kind of a force would be required to create a universe. Gets his rocks off by watching an animal having its throat slit. Think about it. Just for once in your lives, think about it. I'll give you a bit of a break here. We'll go somewhere else for the rest of the story. I might carry on playing my guitar.